Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will going to continue our series of Python Tinker projects. For this topic we have taken the student attendance system, and for that we have the files as student attendance system by py, its screenshot and its database as Attendance.db, and for the modules part and libraries I have imported the basically the files as SQLite 3, Tinker, TTG module, message box as MB, and simple dialog as SD, and at last datetime for date classifications. Okay, so then we have defined the database as connectors equal to SQLite connect from the database name. If there is no database, then it will automatically create it with the SQLite. This is the built database feature of the Python. And then we have defined its cursor, and then we have defined its SQL query, as we have taken the create table if not exist as attendance, and roll number text primary, name as in the text, and date in the text, and status in text, and remarks is also in the text format. Okay, so let's go to our next part, which is the main brain part of the code right here, which is the mainly a function. Okay, for the function we have first of all defined the function as display record, which will going to delete all of the before the tree get childs, and then it will going to by the create all get all the data from the SQL command by using the cursor dot execute and SQL query select asterisk from attendance and fetch them all, and define them in the for loop. And then for the clearing them, if we want to clear its field, then we have defined the model function as this. It will going to take the today's date, whatever that you are working on, and then the reset the status of it as present, and rest are empty. And for the add records I have created an method as try and accept way. In the try format I have used the cursor execute, by we will going to insert into attendance as values of them as 5, and we will going to get it from the variables that we have will going to define them in future. Okay, and then we will commit it, and it will going to again display the records, and its message will be shown there of the success as success attendance record added successfully. Okay, and then it will going to clear the fields, and if any error integrity error comes, then it will going to show the like roll number already exist, like we have accidentally added previous roll number again. Okay, and for the viewing the record, it will going to take the tray format of the database entries, like we have wanted to take the first roll number details and then we have view it, and if we doesn't select that and click the view button, then it will going to show this error like I have said. And if we have selected the correct way, then it will going to take its item selection by its values, and it will going to set them on the selected portion of the GUI. Okay, then for the updates and deletion part I have taken the basically similar way, like we have defined the view format. It if we doesn't select the roll number of the student, then it will going to execute the error as error roll number required to update. Okay, then it if it is been there, then it will going to execute an SQL query as update attendance set its name, date, status, and remarks of whatever roll number that you have selected, and take its data from the GUI. Okay, and then it will going to commit and show the dis display record and clear its field and show the message of it. Okay, and similar way, like we have defined the delete records, we have similar way, like we have defined the update and views part, we have defined similar way like here. And for the then we have selected all of its value and delete, and then we have execute the SQL query and delete from attendance where roll number of whatever value you have suggested, and then it will going to commit and then reset all of the stuff like it has been done with the before datas, and it will going to show the success message as right here, deleted record deleted successfully. Okay, and for the last record, last function as which will going to search the record, it will going to use the simple dialog form, as it will going to ask you search, enter roll number to search whatever roll number that you will give, it will going to search. If no roll number was there of that particular type that you have searched, it will going to return an error. Okay, and then it will going to select that all of the details of the student from that table of that roll number that you have suggested by an fetch1 method, and then it will going to get its all of the other child deleted from that particular time and insert that particular data that you have selected from there. Okay, and if no data was there, then you can see right here I have defined it. Okay, so for the GUI part, let's see how we have defined it. Okay, for the first of all part, we have used the main variable as root is equal to tk, then title as student attendance management, and then define its geometry and give its title in the label form inside the root with the text as you can see right here, student attendance management system, and we have given the font as Arial 18 bold and with the VG color as blue color and with the font as white. Okay, and then we have packed it on the side of its top and fill it by y-axis, and then we have, you can see right here I have defined its variables as roll number, name, date, status, and remarks in the string var format, as they were in the text format in the database stored, so we have to define them in the string. Okay, and define its default values right here. Okay, then we go to our next part, which is the frames. Okay, and its contents, and for the frames with color, we have defined left as the little light bluish color, and then place it on the x comma y 40 and rail width as 0.3 and rail height as 0.96 of it. And similar way we have defined the right part as background of it as in a lighter format, which will going to have the main data of the users, and then we have defined its rail x as 0.3 and y coordinate as 40 and rail width as 0.7 and rail height as similar like left frame. Okay, then we have defined its left frame format, which is the main part of entering the details of the students. We have taken the first of all its label, then entry way like on the left, and then we have take its text and In the entry format, we have taken the text variable that we have above defined there in the string var formats, and then we have defined its font as Arial 12, bold of labels, and Arial 12 in the entries, and define its color here, and place them by the like x equal to 40, y 40, and then by then 30 gap of y-axis we have defined its another value. Similar way, like we have defined with the name and other formats like date, status, and remarks. Okay, that you can copy out by your own for yourself. Okay, then we go to our next part, which is the its button part. Okay, for that we have defined its basic styles as the width as 20, font as Arial 11 bold, and we have defined its three buttons like on the left frame as add record, update record, and clear text, clear feeds, and given its colors like you can see right here, green, yellow, and red. And then we have defined its font color as white, black, and white. And then we have taken the above functions like add record, update record, and clear fields, and then we have added its above style and then place them on the that particular coordinates as this. You can see x equal to 40 and y as 390, and then by a 40 gap on the y-axis we have defined the 430 update records, and again 40 gap as clear fields 470 y-axis coordinates. Okay, and then we have go to our last part of it as right frame, which is the basically the format for the attendance records part. That you can see I have given it in a title as right frame, text as attendance record, and then its font as Arial 14 bold, and define its color in the light bluish color, and then the its font color in the black. And we have like main heading was established, site top and fill X, it was similarly defined like that. Okay, and then we have defined its the Tinker tree view formats, okay, styles. For that we have defined the main theme use as default, then configure them in the tree view, background as white, foreground as black, and then row height 25 and for field background as white, and then map them in the tree format view and then background. Okay, and then we have go to our next part, which is the how this main data was shown in the TT. From the Tinker TTK module we have used the tree view, and in the right frame we have used the column which we have selected as roll number, name, date, status, and remarks, which we have defined and given them in a titles as in the heading format future, like roll number with the text as roll number, name as name text, date as date text, and status as date status, and remarks as similar way. And then we have pack them, fill both of the side, and expand them true, and pad y and pad x as 10 of them. And then we have defined the odd and even colors of like them, like one is darker and one is light color, one like skinny and other color. Okay, then we go to our last part, which is the refresh function, which will going to refresh all of the details given at them in the even color and odd colors by its own orders, and then it will going to restore them. And then at last we have added a scroll bar from the Tinker module in the tree, and we have given its orientation as vertical and command them tree by view, and then configure them in the its command, which is we have set them, and then we have pack at the right and fill at the y axis. Okay, and at last, like we have done before for the different buttons, similar way we have defined right here for the view record, delete record, and search roll number. Okay, you can see their colors and their font sizes and their commands as view records, delete record, and search record, and their style right here that you can see. And for the packing you can see right here. Okay, and at last we have load display record, and then we have defined its end as root main loop, and then that code part has been done. Okay, so let's go to our next part, which is viewing how this code was done. Okay, okay guys, so I have came to my own code. So for that we have before selected the hers name, so I will going to add its record right here, which will be look as this, like 20, like I have selected, wait a second, one. Okay, and then it's record that you can see right here, and sorry, some error has been came here. Okay, then you can see its record right there. And for that, if you doesn't want to right here, then I will going to add in a new record right here, like with the name as month, date right here is okay, and with the status as absent, and remark them as he he is good student. Okay, and then add that record, and right now you can see all of the records have been shown right here. Okay, so if you want to update them, then you can select one of them like this and view it, and you can change all of its details, like I will going to write and see right here, and we will going to write C is a good student, and then update it. Okay, right here you can see is result can be shown there, and if anything like you want to clear it, then it will clear it. And at last for the listen record, you can just click on this and it has successfully deleted it. Okay, so that's it for today guys. If you guys enjoy this, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and bye bye.